Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Iris Podcast. I'm your host, Bowsy. Joining me here today, we have Jono and we have Toxic filling in this week here for this week of the Iris Podcast. How are you two doing on this fine Monday evening?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, last minute ring. I'm just the GOAT at ringing for cast.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, man. Are you the GOAT at ringing in Overwatch too?
I'm getting my Thanos gauntlet. I think I've been on every single Trent cast.
There you go. So now you've been on every single content creation cast. Toxic has officially filled his Thanos gauntlet. So if half the teams disappear somewhere in the middle of the playoffs, you know exactly why. But speaking of the playoffs, we had a very intense first week of the playoffs, and it's time to cover all of that and look forward to the second one with our first section, known as Amp It Up. Starting off with what your favorite moment was from the first week of the playoffs, starting off with you, Jono.
I'm going to be honest. It was FBRD pulling the dub. I got FBRD going pretty far. So seeing them win last week kind of made me happy.
Toxic, what about your favorite moment from last week of the playoffs?
I gotta give it to Poseidon pulling up a 3-2 upset over Pride. Pride's was getting hyped up a lot with a pretty good stage 2. But Poseidon, lower Elam Pool team, pulls out the win.
Poseidon continuing a trend of constantly getting wins after getting into the Elim pool. My favorite moment goes back to one of our feature broadcasts last week, and that was Hammerhead versus Hades. They had a very intense matchup that came down to the wire, and the moment I want to highlight is on Esperanza, where Hammerhead was at 20 meters and Hades was at 120. Hammerhead won that map in overtime, very reminiscent of the MI7 Reminiscence finals match last season. So definitely fun to be able to see Hammerhead be able to pull off that upset victory. Now to wrap up, Amp It Up, let's look forward to the next week by what you're most looking forward to as we enter the second week of the playoffs, starting off with you, John L.
I want to see how these upper bracket games are going to go. A lot of teams are going to get knocked, and a lot of teams are going to win. So I want to see who's going to come out on top. I have an idea, but I'll keep that to myself.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting elimination pool matches in the Discord tier, or a lower bracket matches in the Discord tier. Toxic, what about your favorite? Or sorry, upper bracket. I don't know. Toxic, what about your what are you most looking forward to this week?
Honestly, you're gonna notice a trend. I'm picking Discord tier again. I like the lower bracket. There's a lot of good games, potential upsets. Nobody thought Thunder Duckies and Poseidon would make it past. Maybe they go far. The Space Creative versus Maelstrom game could be great. A lot of good games there.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be a lot of fun games in that lower bracket of Discord, as I was referring to. Sorry, my outline is a little scuffed right now, but it'll get sorted eventually. But what I'm most looking forward to this week is obviously mentioned by Toxic about Poseidon winning 3-2. Poseidon always has this weird trend of always making a deep playoff run after coming from the elimination pool. They've done it for the past 2 seasons. I'm looking forward to seeing if they can do it again. I think they have a good chance to be able to pull off another lower bracket run and try to make a run for that championship bracket. They haven't made the championship bracket yet, but we'll see if they are able to make a deep playoff run as we enter into the next few weeks. But there you go. There is your review on what the playoffs are going to be like over the next couple weeks. But now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the end of season awards ceremony. So, first things first, these are not the official winners that we're going to be doing here. These are all the nominees for each category. The end of season awards, obviously, nominees are picked from every sort of tier. 10 for Harmony and Discord, 6 for Transcendence. We'll be revealing the role stars and the winners next week on the Iris Podcast. But for now, these are the people who are nominated. And our analysts here are going to be picking who their favorites are to win the awards in each category. That being Tank, Hit Scan, Projectile, Flex Support, Main Support, Most Improved, and Coach. And we're going to start off with the category for Best Tank in the Harmony tier. Of course, we're going to start off with all our Harmony awards and go up the scale. Starting off with the Harmony tier, we're going to jump into Best Tank with your nominees for Best Tank. Your nominees for Best Tank in the Harmony tier are Chuster from the Flashbacks, Gizmo from the Galactic Penguins, Godzilla from the Jersey Boys, Impact from Strix, Key Limes from Aimbots, Nevermore from Clairvoyance, Pomku from Geometric, Red Knight from the Koala Kings, SSS Forever from Onigiri, and Stop You from Pause Champ. of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win the award for best tank in the Harmony tier?
I'm gonna give it to Schuster. I mean, this guy's a former Trank champ, and I know he was really solid on CC last season. So him going down a tier and like he's just improving a lot at Overwatch 2. So I'm gonna give it to Schuster.
Jono, who is your favorite to win the award for best tank in the tier?
I'm gonna give it to SSS Forever. I don't know if they're new to Trank. I don't know. I don't really know. I just know Onigiri's a new team in Harmony, and who I played against him, and I could tell you this guy's crazy.
SSS Forever, a sophomore this year, to my knowledge. They were a player on EX Kusanagi last season, so making a good impact in their sophomore season for Tranquility. So great job there to both of our tank nominees. Again, all 10 of those players are up for best tank in the Harmony tier. We'll see next week who grabs that award, but there are your analyst picks for that. Let's move over now to best hit scan winner. Of course, it's all about clicking heads in the Harmony tier. Getting the most head clicks means you get an easy win. So there are obviously some great hit scan nominees in that category. Your nominees for best hit scan in the Harmony tier are Husky from Onigiri, Owa from the Aimbots, Milan from the Flashbacks, Nova from Pause Champ, Phoenix from the Pew Pew Plunderers, Seraph from the Koala Kings, Sep from Insidious, Sky from the Galactic Penguins, Synop from Geometric, Vex from the Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies. Toxic, of that list, who is your pick for best hit scan in the tier?
I'm gonna give it to Seraph. Like same reasons for like when I gave it to Schuster for the last one. He's coming down a tier, former 2-time Trank champion. I can't remember that guy's.
I believe so, 2 times with Rem.
He's just a really solid hit scan, especially to have in Harmony tier. So gotta give it to Seraph.
Jono, what about your pick for best hit scan in the tier?
I heard that chuckle, man. It's me. You're the one and only me. Thank you.
I really should have a bias meter on these two analysts, but I'm gonna refrain from putting it on. Yes.
No. Okay, no. Realistically, though, I'm gonna pick Sep from Insidious outside of myself, obviously. Regardless, nobody really paid that much attention to Insidious this season, but I've watched Sep climb from the depths of the depths to the best of the best now. So I'm gonna give it to Sep because I'm just proud of him as a person.
Definitely Sep, a really strong performance this season. We'll see if they're able to keep it up as the season goes on. But there are your hit scan nominees. But it's not all about the hit scan. It's also about the work your projectile player, aka your Sombra player, can pull off in Tranquility. Of course, projectile being the second half of that DPS duo. Your nominees for best projectile or flex DPS in the Harmony tier are Ascend from the Koala Kings, Bento from the Jersey Boys, Bewell from Flashbacks, Churd from Geometric, CVS Pharmacy from Disclosed, and Doha from the Galactic Penguins, Fellwinter from Onigiri, Formless from Pause Champ, Ooh from Mets Gaming, Rat from Strix, and that is all of them. Toxic, of that list, who is your favorite to win the award for best projectile DPS?
I'm gonna give it to O. I mean, from what I remember of watching, playing and watching this guy's like literally the best Hanzo in the world. So, Hanzo, big projectile hero. Some might say he relies the most on randomness of projectile. So, got to give it to O.
Jono, what about your pick for best projectile DPS in the tier?
I'm gonna go with Formless, just for the fact that like skip the bias, please, because I don't want to hear it. Skip the bias. I watched too many VODs and too many games of Pause Champ to not give him the recognition he deserves as a Sombra player, because holy, there's not really words I can really put into it, but he is not only probably one of the best Sombra players in the tier. I'm gonna be honest.
Foremost definitely having a strong performance this season. Also, I want to highlight who definitely one of the veterans to Trank had a strong performance as well, and probably was an integral part of Mets taking a big upset last week over the Jersey Boys to move over in the bracket, burning all of our brackets. But I'm not talking about the brackets. I'm talking about the end of season awards. Let's go over to our next category, which is best flex support. Of course, flex supports are always a part of the integral part. They're providing the damage while also being able to supply the heals necessary to guide your team to victory. Your nominees for best flex support in the Harmony tier are Aku from Onigiri, Blue Roses from Pause Champ, Colorform from the Luminous Foxes, Drowsy from Koala Kings, Luna from the Galactic Penguins, Pasty from the Flashbacks, PVB 306 from Pew Pew Plunderers, Some Guy from Clairvoyance, Vig from the Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, and Yuno from Geometric. Toxic, of that list, who is your pick for best flex support in the tier?
So I'm gonna give it to a bit of an underdog. I feel like I'm giving it to PVB 306. Because I think that guy is just crazy good at Ana and just like all the flex supports. And to be in Harmony tier, that's crazy. There's a recurring theme of players who shouldn't be in Harmony tier who are. So like this guy's just crazy, really good.
Jono, what about your pick for best flex support in the tier?
I'm giving it to Blue Roses. I watched a lot of growth come from her as a player, and I got to give credit where credit's due at that point.
Definitely, Blue Rose is a very strong player overall in the season, and PvB, as someone who trialed with them earlier in the season, definitely a nuts flex support that you do not want to let loose, that really should be not let loose in a wild field, because they will be annihilating everybody. So congratulations again to all the nominees in that category. But now there's only another half of the support that we need to cover, and that is the main supports. While not as flashy in the kill feed, they are still providing a lot of support for the team and keeping them up in the dire situations. Your nominees for best main support in the Harmony tier are Ana from Onigiri, Chobi from the Galactic Penguins, Dae from Strix, Dino Nugs from Pause Champ, Drug from the Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, Glimpse from the Flashbacks, Iggledy from Geometric, Knowles from Exhilaration, Skype from Koala Kings, and your teammate from Insidious. Toxic, of that list, who is your pick for best main support in the Harmony tier?
So I don't know if you've looked at the Google Doc, but you can't stop me. I'm giving it to Chovy. I'm giving it to Chovy. I mean, it's a meme pick. If I had to pick a serious one, I'd probably pick like Scythe from Koala Kings, but I want my meme pick, at least one meme pick in Harmony tier. I'm giving it to Chovy.
Fair enough. I will not stop you because you are a guest on this podcast, and this is why you're never returning. Jono, what about your pick for best main support?
I'm giving it to Dino because haha memes. No, I'm joking. I'm giving it to Dino Nugs. F972 was a very like, they were a good team last season, but and watching their support line step up and just like almost carry the team this season, I'm gonna give it to Dino because that man's Lucio is something different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an improvement this season on that Lucio and other main support players. So definitely a lot of strong candidates in that main support category. But it's not just about the general rules. Of course, tank, hit, scan, projectile, flex support, and main support are all cool. But there also are two other awards that we give for teams. The first one being the most improved category. Now, this can be a general statement. This can mean that you improved the most over this season of Trank, past seasons of Trank, in competitive, etc. Multiple ways that this can be interpreted, but nonetheless, all of these players that have nominated for this award had improved in some way, shape, or form. Your nominees for most improved in the Harmony tier are Addison from Clairvoyance, Blue Roses from Pause Champ, Drug from Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, Duckworth from the Pew Pew Plunderers, Rat from Strix, SSS Forever from Onigiri, Sit-Up from Geometric, Tacit from Aimbots, Titanic from the Koala Kings, and Wiley17 from Insidious. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for most improved in the Harmony tier?
So I gave it to SSS Forever because I coached him before. I was coaching their team before some things happened, and I mean I think they're 8-0. I haven't been following Harmony tier. They're like 8-0. He must be doing something right to be improving that much, or to have that record. He must have improved a lot. I think I watched a feature of his, and he improved a lot. So I'll give it to SSS Forever.
Yeah, definitely. Onigiri being the only undefeated team in Harmony tier definitely shows that volume and that commitment. What about you, Jono? Who's your pick for most improved in the tier?
I gave it to Sinop. I'm gonna be honest. Very talented player, a lot of improvement from last season. So that's all I can really say about it, honestly.
Definitely set up a lot of improvement this season after just winning a championship last season with the Koala Kings. Definitely still on the rise in the Harmony tier, but there are your nominees for most improved. But of course, there's still one more award that we have to announce the nominees for in the Harmony tier, and that is the award for best coach. Sometimes it's not about what the players are doing behind the scenes, it's about the people that are teaching them how to play the game of Overwatch and helping them improve along the way. Your nominees for best coach in the Harmony tier are Bernie from the Galactic Penguins, Caden from Paws Champ, Lexi from the Fire-Breathing Rubber Duckies, Neptune from Luminous Foxes, Null from the Koala Kings, Punks from Onigiri, Reborn from the Flashbacks, Train from the Pew Pew Plunderers, Womp Dump from Strix, and Wooly from Geometric. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for best coach in the Harmony tier?
I gave it to Caden. I mean, you have a solid group of players, but the solid group of players can only like go so far without a coach. So it really shows to go like 7-1 in the whole regular season. You have a solid group of players, and we're all nominated for Roll Stars. So good job, Caden.
Jono, what about your pick for best coach in the Harmony tier?
Toxic took the words out of my mouth. I'm also gonna give it to Caden. No,
Wait,
you really just took everything.
My bad.
That
I did
hurt,
not
man.
realize you
The
put
guest
Caden.
is out here taking my words, man.
Listen, it happens to the
Cope.
best of us. It happens to the best of us. It can
I'm already
happen.
coping on your hit scan pick, man. Trust me.
Hey man.
Yeah, it'll happen. Things will happen. But definitely a lot of great coaches in the Harmony tier. Caden obviously is one of the best according to our analysts here, but we'll see which ones get the better recognition next week during the actual end of season awards category. Let's jump out of the Harmony tier and move into Discord as we head over to the Discord tier and the end of season award nominees over there. Starting off in the tank category, of course, the front line of the team, helping the team push forward and get all the victories that they need. Your nominees for best tank in the Discord tier are Beppo from Tempest, Colossus from Avalon, Fuelmaker from Adrenaline, Genji Main from MI7, Gliscor from the Wild Cat Boys, Magic Otter from Cosmic Castaways, Navino from the Beat Drop Bears, Pineapple Taco from Trigonometric, Ricky from the Pukin Dogs, Train from Reminiscence. There's your nominees. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win the award for best tank in the Discord tier?
I gave it to Magic Otter. I mean, that guy's just crazy good at the heroes he does play, and he's he's just a big comms presence for CC. So like without him, he's like the team would kind of fall apart, and it really just shows how good of a leader and tank he is.
Of that list, Jono, who's your favorite to win the award for best tank?
Navino.
Oh.
I like how it peaked on your mic there for a second, so like it made it even more.
Man.
It made it even more of an emphasis, but
Navino Overwatch, baby.
fair enough. Nevin Overwatch, as Dad Master says in the chat, definitely the strongest force of nature on the tank role, so definitely a candidate for that category. But let's move over now from the tank and head over to the hit scan. Again, clicking heads are what people are known for in this category, and these players are known for doing it the best. Your nominees for best hit scan in the Discord tier are Aphex from the Cosmic Castaways, Ashes from Trigonometric, Commercial from Tempest, Hypernut from Maelstrom, Lurer from MI7, Resolve from Pride, Rigger from the Space Created, Sensa from the Beat Drop Bears, and Shadowfear from the Wildcat Boys, along with Swifters from Reminiscence. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for best hit scan in the tier?
So I gave it to Laura. I mean, it's Laura, man. This guy's crazy good. Was crazy good last season. Could have won a ring. 3-1. So I gotta give it to Laura. Probably gonna be the MVP.
Yeah, Laura was the best hit scan winner last year, so trying to go for 2 in a row in Discord. Jono, what about your pick for best?
Try one last season.
No,
What'd you say, Toxic?
Try one MVP last season. Wasn't
well,
Laura?
no, Laura won best hit scan.
Oh, best hit scan. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you meant MVP.
Laura won best hit scan last season. He didn't win MVP, but he won
You're
best
going
hit
2
scan.
in a row. My bad. Go.
Jono, your favorite for best hit scan?
I gave it the Ringer. I watched a lot of their matches, and they kind of stuck out to me the most, honestly. Especially in me playing hit scan, I usually pay more attention to like DPS players than I do really anything else. So knowing that not that many people stuck out to me, but that one specific person, I'm just gonna give it to him, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this category might be the most stacked of the end of season awards right now because you have so many good players. Laura and Ringer has already been mentioned here, but not mentioned Commercial, who was one of the strongest players. Aphex, who like won almost every event that happened this season. Sensa, I see a lot of hype for in the chat. Shadowfear has also been really good for Wildcat Boys. There's a lot of strong candidates for best hit scan in the Discord tier. It'll be interesting to see who takes it out. But it's not all about the hit scan. It's also about the projectile players being able to back up the hit scans with all of the damage and helping them secure all the kills needed. Your nominees for best projectile or flex DPS in Discord tier are Booncore from the Pukin Dogs, Dez from Trigonometric, Dolphinicus from Avalon, Derpy Shark from Pride, King Booty from Phoenix, Music Addicts from Reminiscence, yeah or no from Koala or Beach Up Bears, Tanic Bee from MI7, Winter from Wild Cat Boys, and Yoon from the Cosmic Castaways. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win Best Projectile in the tier?
This is my meme pick. You can't stop it. I'm giving it to Dolphinicus. The sim player goes too hard. The sim player gets it. He wins. He's going to win this.
I can confirm Dolphinicus has ruined my rank games before, so I can confirm that they are indeed a force of nature on the Symmetra. What about you, Jono? What is your pick for best projectile in the tier?
I gave it the null. There's honestly, that's it. Who almost just died? Oh my god.
Listen, I've been through that experience before. Don't worry about it. But definitely null or yeah now. Definitely a strong contender for best projectile in the tier. Just try to keep yourself alive here, John. We still have a lot of categories to go through, including, actually, this next category can help you a little bit, Jono. It's the best flex support category, being able to heal you as well as do all the damage to secure your team fight wins. Your best flex support nominees for Discord tier are Bunny from MI7, Cleary from Trigonometric, Crimson from the SEAL Team Spuds, Javelin from the Wild Cat Boys, Nagisa from Tempest, Neptune from Reminiscence, Onyx from the Cosmic Castaways, Triage from Maelstrom, Twist from the Beat Drop Bears, and Zorfcon from the Pukin Dogs. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win Best Flex Support in the tier?
I gave it to Neptune. I mean, this guy moved down a tier from Trans tier. He does crazy damage on Kiri and all the supports. That's really a good thing to have. I know it's support, but supports that do damage, that is a good and rare thing in Discord tier. So gotta give it to Neptune.
Jono, what about your pick for best flex support in the tier?
I'm gonna give it to Nagi because Nagi's just the GOAT. Let's be real here, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Nagi is indeed the GOAT. Nothing else needs to be said. Nagi is the GOAT. I think that's.
I was about to say, how long has Nagi been in Trank?
A long time. I'd have to.
Exactly. That proves it right there.
I don't know if Nagi's in the chat or not, but if they are, please tell us how long you've been in Trank. I would love to know. But anyway, flex supports obviously key part of the team, but they are not the only one helping out the backline. It is the main supports as well, being able to enable the team and help heal them through all of those tough situations. Your nominees for best main support in the Discord tier are QB from the Cosmic Castaways, Feather from Phoenix, Hayden from MI7, Hypnotos from the Beat Drop Bears, Coconut from Reminiscence, Lost Sauce from Avalon, Mellow from Trigonometric, Mint from Adrenaline, Ochre from the Pukin Dogs, Phoebe Wonder from the Wild Cat Boys. Of that list right there, Toxic, who is your pick for best main support in the tier?
I gave it to Hypnotos. I mean, I've been saying it on Silver Slander. If people have been watching Silver Slander, that guy is really good at main support. And that's a very rare thing in Discord tier. Not to hate on any main supports in Discord tier, but there's good and then there's really good. And it's very hard to get from good to really good, and Hypnotos has done it. So Hypnotos gets it.
Jono, what about your pick for best main support in the tier?
Coconut. I watched too many of their matches to not point out how great their supports are. Too many.
Fair enough. Coconut coming up the Discord tier this season definitely has shown up in a big way. But of course, it's not just about the specific roles. It's also about how you improve as a player here in Trank. We promote the ability to grow as a player, and that's where our next category of the most improved comes in. Your nominees for most improved in the Discord tier this season are B-Ball Man from Reminiscence, Beppo from Tempest, Bubble Wyatt from Jellyfish, Holophile from Pride, Keegsmont Swag from Space Created, Magic Otter from the Cosmic Castaways, Majestic from MI7, Mellow from Trigonometric, Phoebe Wonder from the Wild Cat Boys, and Yuki from the Beat Drop Bears. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win the award for most improved?
I pick Bubble. No, I'm joking. I'm not picking Bubble. Who do you think I am? I'm picking Mello. That guy went up from Harmony tier, improved a lot on support, has done a lot of good things with Trig. Giving it to Mello.
Jono, what about your pick for most improved in Discord tier?
This is when I give my love to Magic Otter. When I first joined Trank, I tried him on my team, and I seen that the kid had a lot of talent. And seeing him actually doing well up in Discord tier just makes me happy. So I'm gonna give it to Otter because he deserves it at this point.
Magic Otter, definitely a strong candidate for that award after so many seasons of trying to get up to the top. Finally making his way to the most improved category. Of course, there's still one more category, and that is the award for best coach. Again, it's always the people in the backline that are helping support this team and making sure that all these players can perform to the best of their ability. Your nominees for best coach in the Discord tier are Billy Gott for Jellyfish, Cam for Trigonometric, Choi Soo Won for Reminiscence, Magpolar for Cosmic Castaways, Optical Crash for MI7, Pandapulse from Avalon, Firesis from Tempest, Smugs from Pukin Dogs, Tyler from the Beat Drop Bears, and Vix for Pride. I apologize if I mispronounce any of those names. They're very hard when you don't get to look at some of these or at least prepare for them ahead of time. But regardless of which, Toxic, of that list, who is your favorite to win best coach in the tier?
I'm doing this to spite Dab Master. I'm giving it to Tyler. I'm giving it to Tyler. Fuck you, Dab Master 66. Oh, it's 9001. Fuck you, Dab Master 9001. I swear it was 66. It's always been 66.
Jono,
I am
what
Dead
about your
Master's
pick?
t-shirt. I'm giving it to Choi, man. I don't like, dude. Like, I haven't really talked to Choi that much, but oh my god, like I'm kind of lost for words just talking about it because he just makes me smile. Like I don't know, man. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely. Choi Soo Won, definitely a strong contender for that best coach category, helping out Reminiscence a lot this season. But now it's time to go into our final category our final tier category, and that is the Transcendence tier. The highest of our categories has probably the highest SR ranking of all of the teams, of all of the tiers right now, and also has the high profile players, especially when it comes to the front line. Your nominees for Best Tank in the Transcendence tier are Cam from the Guangzhou Gangsters, Destined MP from Hammerhead, Toasty Toast from the Billings Boomers, Obese Chicken from the Devil Dukes, Star Platinum from Amnesia, Telm J. Can from the Fleet Angels. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for Best Tank in the Transcendence tier?
I'm sorry. I had my tank pick in mind beforehand. I didn't see the list. Obese Chicken. If there was a name one, I'd give it to Obese Chicken, but sadly it's not. I'm giving it to Toasty Toast. That guy's like crazy good, and just like I feel like he's like the best player on Billings. Like that guy's really good. I saw him play Zarya once. Blew my mind. He was carrying on that hero, and that hero sucks. So Toasty Toast.
John, what about your pick for Best Tank in the tier?
We do not slander my favorite hero on this podcast, man.
Cope.
Yeah,
trust me, I have been.
We don't slander my favorite hero either.
Yeah,
you
fucking sucks. Oh wait, your favorite hero is Zarya. Fuck, I forgot.
I'm a Zarya one.
I was about to say Vaporeon sucks.
Goodbye.
Okay, my favorite tank is Cam because Cam, I watched some VODs and he showed me a lot of Doomfist tech. So my favorite tank is Cam.
Cam, definitely a strong contender for best tank in the category. The old man Cam looking to try and get in the retirement home, hopefully, according to Navina. But we'll see if that actually happens. It probably won't. But regardless of that, let's go into our next category, which is best hit scan in the Transcendence tier. Again, clicking heads is crucial, and all these hit scan players have been able to do exactly that. Your nominees for best hit scan in the Transcendence tier are Apples from the Devil Dukes, Dragon from Billings Boomers, Horus from the Fleet Angels, Jakaru from Amnesia, North from the Guangzhou Gangsters, Rajin from Revital. Of that list there, Toxic, who is your pick for best hit scan in the tier?
I'm giving it to Jakaru. I mean, I'm very familiar as the Shaq meme once, if you guys know it. I'm very familiar with Amnesia's game. It's the opposite, actually. I'm not familiar with you. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I know Amnesia because like I'm friends with like a bunch of them, and I just think Jakaru is like probably like he's very good at Widow. He clicks heads, and Widow equal hit scan, and there you go. There's my reasoning.
Definitely. Clicking heads, definitely the best part there. Jono, what about your pick for best hit scan in the tier?
I'm gonna give it to North. I haven't really watched that much trans tier this season, so I haven't really paid that much attention to it. But I do know one thing in that North's hit scan, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss, indeed. Definitely a lot of strong hit scans in the Transcendence tier. Let's go over now to best projectile. Again, there's another half to that DPS duo, and the one that's shooting the rockets, or in this place, just one tricking Sombra. Your nominees for best flex DPS in the Transcendence tier are Akua from Amnesia, Didn't You See Me from Wyverns, Haruhiro from the Guangzhou Gangsters, Ryan from the Billings Boomers, Sunless Fiber from the Devil Dukes, Velzen from the Fleet Angels. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for best projectile in the Transcendence tier?
So I gave it to Haruhiro. I mean, he was crazy last year, and I think, or not last year, last season, and he's just been getting better and better. And if like Guangzhou players are just crazy, so Haruhiro, keep up the great work.
Jono, what about your pick for best projectile in the tier?
It's about time I show Amnesia some love, so I'm gonna give it to Akua because Amnesia is a team, regardless of like anything. Their DPS line is just crazy, just like Toxic said.
Yeah, definitely. Amnesia, a lot of crazy DPS over there on that team. A lot of great DPS to help them get that number 2 seed this season. We'll see if they're able to keep it up as the season goes on. Now let's move over to the flex support. Obviously, a lot of strong contenders in this category, especially with how much flex support has become a mainstay in the Overwatch community, especially with the rise of double flex support in that instance. But still, flex support is playing a crucial part in Overwatch right now. Your nominees for best flex support in the Transcendence tier are Cadenza from Hammerhead, Honeybunny39 from the Guangzhou Gangsters, Luca from Amnesia, Silvertalls from Billings Boomers, Smarties from the Fleet Angels, and Suga's Move from the Devil Dukes. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win best flex support in the tier?
So I gave it to Honey Bunny 39, otherwise known as Aplum. I'm not gonna call him that the whole time. Aplum is crazy good at like a bunch of heroes. Like that guy's crazy good at Moira, crazy good at Bab. And he can play the other flex supports really well too. So a good rounded flex support. Gotta give it to Aplum.
Jono, what about your pick for best flex support in the tier?
Smarties. I know Fleet Angels had a very so-so season, but Smarties, you just gotta love Smarties. I'm talking about the candy, by the way.
I mean, Smarties are definitely a good candy to snack on, a good hard candy to snack on. Speaking of hard, it's definitely hard to play main support in the current era of Overwatch. It takes a lot of skill, especially in the higher ranks, much more skill than you think. But these main supports who are nominated for best main support in the tier are definitely living up to the task. Your nominees for best main support in the Transcendence tier are Brent from the Devil Dukes, Fungin from Wyverns, Corey from Amnesia, Poofa from the Billings Boomers, Slimeole from the Guangzhou Gangsters, and Vegas Sun from the Fleet Angels. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for best main support in the tier?
I'm giving it to Corey, otherwise known as Saga. That guy, I just love his name, Saga. I'm just kidding. No, he's a really good main support. I mean, Amnesia definitely owes a lot of their wins to him. He's just really good.
Jono,
what about your pick for best main support in the Transcendence tier?
I'm gonna give it to Poofa because Billings Boomers is just a good team, but you can't have a good team without probably one of the best supports in the tier, I'd say. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely Poofa, really strong candidate for best main support in the tier. Again, all these candidates, really strong candidates for best main support. We'll see who gets that award next week. Excuse me there for a second. But regardless of that, there's still 2 more awards. We've done with the role awards, but now it's time to go into the generic awards, starting off with the most improved. Again, this could be over this season of Tranquility, over multiple seasons of Tranquility, or in the comp season. Multiple different ways you can take it, but all these players have shown some improvement one way or another in Season 10. Your nominees for most improved in the Transcendence tier are Cadenza from Hammerhead, Charybdis from the Fleet Angels, Syme from the Hive Mind Halophites, Luca from Amnesia, North from the Guangzhou Gangsters, and Turget from Wyverns. Of that list, who is your favorite to win the award for most improved in Transcendence tier, Toxic?
I'm giving it to Charybdis. I mean, I think how long have I known Chase? I've known Chase for quite a while. I've known of his game. And he's just been like constantly improving at like it's not even just hit scan now. He's been like improving at flex DPS like Sombra, and he's just really good. So I'm gonna give it to Chase.
Jono, what about you? Who is your pick for most improved in the tier?
I'm gonna give it to Sime just because watching from the sidelines like how Hivemind's season is like currently going. Sime is probably the one player I could say really has improved throughout a majority of the season and hasn't really been recognized for it. So I'll give him that.
I remember back then in Season 8 when Sime was a Harmony tier player, was considered the best Widowmaker in the tier, and it's just constantly risen over the past couple seasons. Definitely strong contender for most improved over these past couple of seasons. And also Charybdis, been in Trank for so long and is really living up to the name and doing a great job overall this season as well. To wrap up the general tiers, we have the best coach. Of course, it's all about people in the back lines helping the teams function and be able to get to the top level performance that they all deserve in the Transcendence tier. Your nominees for best coach in the Transcendence tier are Don Cheadle from Hive Mind Howl Fights, Duck from Amnesia, KGB President from Hammerhead, Needle from Filming Your Bad, Recur from the Guangzhou Gangsters, and Smugs from the Fleet Angels. Of that list, Toxic, who is your favorite to win Best Coach in the Transcendence tier?
I picked Duck slash Darkrai. I know like Amnesia. Like I hear like they have like after their Wyverns loss. I mean, they really like bounced back. You know, got a 4 over Billions Boomers, and I mean like coaching can help that. Coaching can help that. So got to give it to. And I also know he's just a contenders coach. I'm pretty sure. So really good coaching there for them.
John, what about your pick for best coach in the Transcendence tier?
All right, hearing Toxic just say all that, he kind of just sold me. I'm gonna give it to Duck as well. He kind of just sweet talked me into it.
I mean,
I do that.
There you go. Toxic is very well known to be someone to persuade you into his opinions. Watch Broad's.
That's kind of toxic.
It is kind of toxic. Kind of the things you see on, I don't know, like a banter show like Bronze Banter. Saturday nights at 10:30. Anyway, but that is all of our awards for tier-specific awards. However, there are still 2 more awards that we have to give out. These are more community-wide awards that we have to offer here that all represent members of our community, not so much in their performance on a team, but rather their commitment to tranquility. We are, of course, a volunteer community that strives off of people who devote their time and resources to helping out our community and trying to make it a better place for everyone, in addition to providing excellent content like the Iris Podcast, Bronze Banter, Silver Slander, all of these great shows that we have here, Predicting Tranquility. I'm not going to forget that, thanks to Nerf. But regardless of that, there's a lot of people that we attribute to all of this, including not just in the content creation side, but also on our production side, through our casting, through all of this sort of stuff. And so we have 2 awards that recognize people in these positions. Starting off with the non-staff community contributor. These are people who are not a part of the moderator and staff, at least here at Tranquility, that are willing to devote their time to the Tranquility community and provide us with a welcoming community and a very good community for everybody to enjoy. Your nominees for non-staff community contributor for Season 10 are Choi Soo-won, Dabmaster, Elysia, Fish, Hippie, Jono, Cry, Mr. Mountain Mike, Navino, Nerfed, Potato, Private Ryan, and that is all of your nominees for non-staff community contributor. Of that list, Toxic, who do you think is the favorite to win the award for non-staff community contributor?
I'm gonna honestly, there's only one real pick, and I'd give it to anyone else, but like Nerfed runs like basically doesn't run, but is it contributing to 2 different programs of Trank with predicting and what do you call it, and Bronze Banter, like bringing a lot of content, and they're just contributing a lot to this community. So I have to give it to Nerfed.
Jono, what about you? Who's your pick for best non-staff community contributor in Season 10?
It's just like Toxic said. There's really only one choice to this whole list. Or I would have, like, honestly, I had a whole meme pick set up, but then everything happened with Fish, and I was like, damn, can't really use that. So I just said Nerfed. obviously, because you said no duplicates and I couldn't put myself. So I just said nerfed.
Yeah, definitely. Nerfed has contributed so much to Tranquility. It's not even funny. From hosting Predicting to bringing Bronze Banter to Tranquility and hosting Bronze Banter, Nerfed has definitely done a lot, and I think it's safe to say that they are definitely deserving of another non-staff community contributor award, becoming one of the very few to get that award 2 seasons in a row.
Another? Nah, vote for me then.
We'll see what the results say next week. But that's not the only award that we have that is related to the community as a whole. There is also the award for Best Caster. We've had several different casters come through Tranquility, and some have been able to make it very far. Of course, one of the most notable ones is Door, who recently got the chance to cast Overwatch League matches last month. So a lot of people in the Tranquility scene have gone through Tranquility's casting routes and been able to go into high places. And that just shows how the testament of how skilled our casters are here in Tranquility and how much that they are able to commit to Tranquility. The casters that are listed here all have made significant contributions to casting the season and been able to put on a show for all of the casts we've had from preseason to the grand finals. Your nominees for Best Caster in Season 10 of Tranquility are Bethcon 2, myself, Bowsy, it's rigged, Denji, Dexatron, Gedster, Karma, McMissile, Needle, and there is your list. Of that list, Toxic, who is your pick for Best Caster in Season 10?
I'm giving it to Dexatron. He's like contributing to a lot of different casts, and I don't know. Was he here last season?
He was.
I don't know if he's a new face. Yes. Okay, he's a semi-new face, and he's contributing a lot, so I got to give it to him.
Jono, what about your pick for Best Caster in the tier?
I got to give it to you, man. I got to give it to the Bowsy. Because at the end of the day, I mean, man can cast and run a whole podcast. I don't know. You got to give the man some credit.
I mean,
please.
I mean, you're not wrong, definitely. But, I mean...
Bro's just taking it in.
I mean, the thing is, it would be my 3rd year winning in a row, and I think that's too much for me because I
nah, you need it, bro.
I'm going to give a more shout out to Dexatron because I was going to say it if nobody said it here, but thankfully Toxic did. But I'm still going to give a shout out to Dexatron. They've done a lot this season for Tranquility. They've joined the content creation team. They've been much more involved, and they currently hold the record for the most casts done this season by a caster at 15. I'm pretty sure 15 or more, which is about 4 or 5 more than the second most. So that tells you how much Dexatron has committed to Tranquility this season as a caster, and I definitely feel like that they are a high-profile candidate for Best Caster this season. So we'll see how the awards tick up next week. But there are all of your nominees. Again, the winner of the end of season award winners will be announced next week on the Iris podcast. Same time, same place, albeit hopefully we're starting on time next week. With that being said, it's time to review matches to watch as we enter the second week of the playoffs. Starting off with you, Toxic.
Yeah,
What matches are you looking forward to this week? And give me a score prediction for it as well.
Oh, score prediction. Okay. I'm predicting Beat Drop Bears versus Reminiscence. I think so. Reminiscence had like a kind of a flop stage 1 when you're considering it's Reminiscence. 3-2, not the best. And they had a comeback stage 2. So this is like their first chance against a real team. And I think I'm going to go 3-1 Beat Drop Bears, but I could see this going the other way for Reminiscence. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely will be a fun match to watch there. Jono, what about you? What match are you watching in the second week of the playoffs?
You guys know I got to stick to Harmony tier. I'm going Geo versus Koala Kings. This has probably been one of the craziest matchups I've watched, and I've only been in Trank for a year now. Maybe getting close to a year now. So I'm going to give it 3-2 Koala Kings.
Definitely Koala Kings Geometric, a rematch of the week 3 matchup, I believe, where those two teams faced off, and it was a Geometric win.
It's a finals rematch from last season.
It also is the finals rematch from last season, so definitely will be one heck of a matchup to watch, so we'll have to see how well that goes. I'm going over to the Transcendence tier for my pick.
Thank God, someone representing.
Why not? I mean, you might as well.
Because Fish will be here.
I'm actually very interested in Hades versus Hivemind Halifights. Hades played a very close game last week, much closer than we anticipated, and Hivemind Halifights, I mean, definitely a struggling week against Billings Boomers, but have been shown to be a strong team when it matters the most. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes. As for a prediction, I'm actually going to go against my bracketology prediction. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-0 win for Hades. I think that they have enough steam in the boiler right now to make it all the way to a potential championship bracket run after going so close with Hammerhead, which has been rated highly all season. But there are your matches to watch as we enter the second week of the playoffs. And, of course, we have some feature matches for all of you to watch as we enter into the next week. On Tuesday, our Harmony Tier feature match will feature Chrysalis facing off against the Galactic Penguins, where the loser goes home for the season. Same thing on Wednesday. Trans Tier will feature Revital versus Just Better Incorporated as both of those teams fight off against elimination. And finally, on Thursday, it's Adrenaline facing off against Royal Throne, who took a big upset victory last week. We'll have to see how well that match goes on Thursday. All of those matches are at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Depending on what happens after these matches, we could be able to see Silver Slander on Tuesday after the Harmony Tier feature. Bronze Banter is usually scheduled for Saturdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that depends on if it actually happens or not. Same thing goes with After Scrims tonight with Lord Thuggington at Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Gentlemen, before I get into our final two announcements, are there anything that you two would like to say?
Bro, I gotta scrim in 4 minutes. Let's wrap this shit up.
We're almost done, don't worry. The last things I have to say is, first off, make sure that you come here next week at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be revealing the winners of the end of season awards. You do not want to miss that. All the winners will be given out their awards. In addition to our role stars, the best in each category will be shown off as well here on the Iris Podcast. Again, that is 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Iris Podcast at twitch.tv/tranquilitygg to be able to determine who are the winners of the end of season awards. With that being said, can I get a drum roll, please?
I hope it's me. I rang.
We have a winner for a free t-shirt from the Tranquility Store, and that winner is the best main support nominee from the Wildcat Boys, Phoebe Wonder. Congratulations, Phoebe Wonder, for winning a free t-shirt from the Tranquility Store. We'll be getting in contact with you later to get all of the information settled there. But that is going to be it for today's episode of the podcast. For Jono and Toxic, my name has been Bowsy. We thank you all for gazing into the iris with us. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing week in tranquility.
Bye.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.